It's time, 1 o'clock. So thank you all for joining me in this session and welcome. And well, I'm from Spain, so I guess this putting me this session after lunch is like a torture for me, but I try to do my best, not having siesta, nothing like that. So I'm going to ask how many people here have ever hosted an app on FileMaker Cloud? Have you? Oh, almost half. Okay, so you have to make the decision. You have to decide whether your app is suitable for hosting on FileMaker Cloud before hosting it and before making the client spend the money and so on. So is it suitable for hosting on cloud, or should I stick to my well-known server or explore any other alternatives? So there's a lot of online documentation, papers, articles, community, but each one refers to a specific issue like speed or containers or price. So in this session is an approach to all key things that must be considered to take this decision. At the end, we will get a summary of factors checklist to be completed, and the output would be like to cloud or not to cloud, for FileMaker Cloud, of course. We will go through the following sections. Why considering moving to FileMaker Cloud, some hosting factors, some special features to consider in this decision. Of course, money is always there, and some tips in case you decide to host in FileMaker Cloud, and conclusion. So, why considering moving to FileMaker Cloud? Is cloud concept is more than trendy? Why all our clients are asking us for a move to a cloud basis? It's more it's practical. To know that, so clients are asking us, they might be asking us for, I decided that there might be these three factors. The uncertainty, and we live times of uncertainty with all the COVID pandemic and all the other global issues that have been going on. Decision makers need to work on have been forced to work on a very unbearable pressure, and they need IT resources to remain reliable. So they need less trouble in general. So cloud is easier from that point of view. A capex versus opex, and besides with the time to market getting shorter every day. From a strategic point of view, they need the decision makers, our clients, they need to reduce their capital expenditures, increasing their operational expenditures. And so migrating to cloud is a great to pursue this goal. And at last, the shared responsibility model. In addition, some responsibility to be shared is desirable to relax the things. Well, not that kind of relax, but almost, and allows us to stay focused just in our or their FileMaker development. So this matrix represents a Amazon Web Services shared responsibility model. And it's supposed that, you can see the orange band down is for the Amazon Web Services responsibility, and the top blue is for the customer. It's supposed to be that Claris responsibility is moving somewhere in the middle, but I haven't been able to find anything like this official by Claris released. So we don't know very good where ends Amazon, where begins Claris, and when ends the customer. So, but this is an overview, okay? And talking about hosting factors, you have to bear in mind some factors about hosting, and I choose the model to compare the FileMaker Cloud versus FileMaker Server we can host in other sophisticated systems, but this is the main competitor for cloud is the server. So talking about infrastructure, with FileMaker Cloud, you can get rid of the hateful initial questions like, should I take a PC, a Mac, or a Linux? Can I guarantee internet connection for the server? Or how can I handle those ports? And so you need to be an infrastructure expert or have access to an infrastructure expert. And with FileMaker Server, everything relies on me. So I give a point medal for FileMaker Cloud at this point. From the deployment point of view, in FileMaker Cloud, no server software hardware needed. So deploy custom app is just a matter of minutes. In FileMaker Server, requires time to set up the hardware, install operating system, install and configure FileMaker Server software, backups, and so on. Requires IT expertise or hire it out. So another point for FileMaker Cloud in this point. About security. In FileMaker Cloud, there's no need to configure and maintain backups. SSL certificate is included. Custom apps are automatically encrypted and to FileMaker Cloud. And Claris ID supports multi-factor authentication, but many customers are reluctant to give their data to hand over the data to external hosting. On the other hand, FileMaker Servers makes me again responsible for all the security, supports encryption of data, but it does not encrypt itself, and supports SSL, but you have to put it yourself on the server. But with FileMaker Server, many customers believe that they can encapsulate their data, making it safer from leakage. And in this case, I give them, this is from my point of view, everything, from my experience, I give tight points between cloud and server, okay? And about authentication, in FileMaker Cloud, you can manage your teams and your groups, centralizing all the management using your Claris ID, and all driven by the FileMaker Customer Console. This is a great advantage if you are using the traditional built-in FileMaker authentication. But besides, it uses the Claris ID integrated system to authenticate users, but it does not support external authentication, as I guess you all know. But in FileMaker Server, you can still use your external authentication system like Active Directory, Azure, or whatever. So I guess there are also balance points here, okay? About maintenance, your FileMaker Cloud instance is automatically restart once a day. You don't notice. I was scared at the beginning about this feature, but nobody's ever reported any issue about it. You can control when they restarted. You can put it on your 4 a.m. in the morning, but we've never noticed where they restarted. It's almost transparent for us, okay? So it's automatically restarted once a day for auto maintenance. But you can't disable that auto maintenance. It's just as it is. And it's automatically updated, so if your solution has some feature that is not compatible with the new version, it will simply not work. But I haven't seen it already before, so I don't know. In the FileMaker Server, you must take care of all the updates, the FileMaker Server updates, the operating system, the periodic reboots, disaster recovery plans, weekly hard drive checks for enough space for running the backups. But from my point of view, this point is going to FileMaker Cloud, okay? About licensing, as you will know, in FileMaker Cloud, the FileMaker Cloud contract, all licensing is included. Software, hardware, service cost, everything. And in FileMaker Server contract, the FileMaker Server and the FileMaker Pro is included, but every other external feature, additional cost, like the hardware or the services or the maintenance, is not included. So you can have all in FileMaker Cloud, but you must you get only one part with FileMaker Server. So this is a very simple analysis, but from the simple analysis, I give you the medal to FileMaker Cloud. And last, from talking about scalability, another hard word for me is scalability. FileMaker Cloud, you can quickly scale up for fast-paced growth, and you can scale down your FileMaker Cloud instance only at the time of the renewal, of the subscription renewal. And if FileMaker Server may need to buy additional hardware or extra configuration, and it's a little bit more tricky. So FileMaker Cloud takes also the last medal. So as you will see in this slide, there are more medals on the FileMaker Cloud site. So from my point of view, hosting is easier and more efficient in FileMaker Cloud than in FileMaker Server. And some special features that have to be considered very closely before taking the decision to host in FileMaker Cloud. And these decisions may be the main differences between both systems. About containers in FileMaker Cloud, only secure storage in external containers are supported. While in FileMaker Server, you can have open storage with store container data externally. So in this case, the point goes to FileMaker Server. Logging files. In log files in FileMaker Cloud can be downloaded with tons of information. You have tons of information about the logging. While in FileMaker Server, you can only have the access log and the event log. Of course, I'm talking only about the admin console. You can have all this information in your operating system if you're able to find it. You can dig in and find it, but if you're not very expert, maybe you won't get access to all this. So in this case, my point goes to FileMaker Cloud. And custom web publishing, no at all, no supported by FileMaker Cloud. And of course, you can is well supported in FileMaker Server. So in this case, also the point goes for FileMaker Server. And talking about plugins, I think this is the main problem for us at the time being, that you cannot use server-side plugins on FileMaker Cloud. And of course, in FileMaker Server, you can use any kind of plugin. So, medal for FileMaker Server in this case. Clients. Well, this is a feature, but it's not bad or good. It's client, talking about the number of clients that support FileMaker Cloud, it's a moderate size. While in FileMaker Server, you can scale at a lot of big clients, a lot of more clients. But this feature is really, well, it depends on the size of your app, of your project. So there's no better or worse. It just depends, no? Backups is a little bit of the same. For the backups, FileMaker Cloud takes care of everything. And everything is their responsibility, and it's easy to restore a backup when something goes wrong. But there's no flexibility with the frequency or the destination of your backups. Everything is in the cloud, and you cannot control where they are storage or something like that. And if I make a server, everything relies on me again, but I can control where to store it. If I can I want to download something locally for whatever. So tight pumps here, also for both systems. It depends of your project, And WebDirect, attention here, while FileMaker Server gives access to your WebDirect solution only to registered users, while in FileMaker Server you can have anonymous access and anonymous users. So I guess this point goes directly to FileMaker Server. In ODVC, JDVC, as FileMaker Cloud can't be used as a data source for ODVC, FileMaker Server supports full integration, so another point for FileMaker Server. FM API, here's a good one. FileMaker Cloud uses Amazon services, and it authenticates the connection through Cognito. If the system from which you are trying to connect your FileMaker server from is not capable of running the Cognito query for authentication, your FileMaker won't be able to. Cognito won't be able to authenticate your external system. So you have to be very aware of this problem. We have had this problem with how do you call I don't know. No, Power BI. A month ago, we couldn't connect it to Power BI because it was hosted on FileMaker Cloud. So we have to reconsider all the hosting things. And FileMaker Server has a standard authentication, so you can have the security that it will be able to connect through FileMaker API with almost every system. And speed, well, this is a very personal view because from my experience, and my experience I based in 20 projects that had been hosted previously in FileMaker Server, and they had some kind of trouble. It wasn't as fast as they expected to, and we couldn't find where the problem was. And we put them on FileMaker Cloud, and it was like fast like a Ferrari. So, and quite stable. And in FileMaker Server, I put depends, because sometimes it's your fault, sometimes it's the client's network, sometimes are the user's laptop, sometimes are your code that it's a disaster, sometimes, but you have to find the problem. That apps that had some problem in one of those points, and we couldn't find where was it. We hosted on FileMaker Cloud, and they were very, very fast. So maybe it was the server, but it has enough resources. We never know what. So my point goes a big one for FileMaker Cloud. Okay.
Talking about special features, this new ODAI, is that present on the cloud?
I don't know. I haven't.
FileMaker Cloud? Yeah. Yes.
To be fair, in this slide, I've been considering the differences. Yeah. So you can see there's a lot of medals for FileMaker Server because I only centered on differences, and there's I focus on them, and if there's no here, is that they are equal. Yeah. Oh well, from my point of view again, okay. So to be fair, these are the big differences. And money, what about money? FileMaker Cloud, everyone is saying that it's quite expensive, but I must say that bearing in mind the number of clients, the number of users that your solution is going to have, in this graph, we compare the total cost of ownership of the FileMaker Cloud, which is the yellow line, versus the FileMaker Server, which is the blue line. Okay, this has an amortization in 4 years for buying your server, the maintenance cost, and it's like so. You will see that consider the number of users. More or less around 20 users, there's the cross point where you can see, well, it's the same. But I intentionally draw my cut on 30 users because from our point of view, and we have, in Bitwork, we have an infrastructure department, but from our point of view, the nuisance having a server, maintaining a server, forming the people that is updating ports, changing in network, electricity, everything. So I think this little difference is, how do you say renta? Is it's profitable enough. So I will put the cut on 30 users for our point of view, okay? More than 30 users is maybe too expensive for hosting on cloud, okay? If you want more information about this analysis, I don't want to bore you with numbers and things, but I have all the data here. And well, some tips. We're almost done, but I wouldn't forgive myself if I don't warn you about some special things that you have to take into account if you are hosting on FileMaker Cloud. And the first one is always try, if you are working for a client, try to get an extra licensed user for yourself for admin purposes, okay? For certain things like a script schedule. If you are configuring a script schedule on the FileMaker Cloud console admin, the user you're using for creating that script schedule will be the user that always will run it. So if you create it with your temporary user for just creating all the configuration of the FileMaker Cloud instance, and then they remove the license of that user, the script won't run. It won't have. It needs a user always with license. So the first point is very important, that keep always licensed for you and for all the admin purposes, okay? The script schedules runs always with the user that created the script. And if you want to change it, you have to remove that script schedule and create it again with a new user. So it's a little bit, but you have to know it. Download in FileMaker Cloud, you have to stop your database in order to download a copy. You cannot download a backup. You can restore a backup, but not download it. So if you want to download a local copy for whatever, you have to stop the database. Working with embedded admin account is a little bit of the same, but it's different. I recommend to keep an admin account embedded in the solution just in case the FileMaker Cloud authentication fails. It has happened once in 2 years, but can happen. And about containers, FileMaker Cloud doesn't allow you to specify destination of the database folders. So all files are uploaded to the default storage destination, and you have to take that into bear in mind. It's not a bad feature. It depends of the project. No, extra hours. This is tip for not having the same problem that we had on our first FileMaker Cloud project. Onboarding for the users can be a little bit tricky, and they will be always asking you for help, for an extra help. So if, let's say that you have 30 users, this is the top. I've said that we should host our solution on FileMaker Cloud. Imagine connecting 30 users, helping them with the Claris ID, downloading the instalador, the software, yes, downloaded specifically the software that you can access only through the admin console of the FileMaker Cloud. So you have to bear in mind that at least 1 hour extra for each user, not for having losses. And the last one, but not least, no, it's not the, sorry, about crazy users. That's a big one also. If we are used to create crazy testing users for our things while we are investigating before going on production, but you will never get rid of them. Even if you deactivate it and you get without license that users, if the client access to this console, you're not gonna be able to delete them. So be very careful with this, okay? This is not real, okay? This is fake. Okay? And this one is the big one, and the last one, encryption key. Be sure to copy the encryption key, the encryption password, before terminate your FileMaker Cloud account. Once you terminate it, you download your application, because you are deciding that you're going to host it on a server or another web, whatever, or your client has closed, and you should copy before, because once you terminate the account, you won't be able to access that encryption password. So you won't be able to open your solution, your last version, last version. So this is an important one, okay? As a conclusion, I would remain in FileMaker Server if I have a high conspiracy degree and I'm a control freak and I don't want my data to be hosted externally where I can't control it. I'm an infrastructure master, or I have access some infrastructure department with IT people with quite a knowledge. I need external authentication, of course, of if I need non-secure external containers, or if I need my project needs custom web publishing on server-side plugins, more than 30-40 licensed users, full ODVC, GDVC integration, and integration with Cognito non-compatible system, okay? So I would remain on FileMaker Server if I need, or I am one of these, my project needs one of these points. For everything else, I will go to FileMaker Cloud without doubt. Okay, I would choose always FileMaker Cloud only just for the stability. It's amazing. It's something amazing. But sometimes even the almighty cloud runs out of service. Okay, so it happens. But to be honest, it had happened to us twice in 2 years, and the support team has been quite fast, quite effective, and fast answering our emails, and there was like very much a surprise for us. We thought we were lost, and it was a surprise that in almost 10 minutes everything was. Even once there was a problem with the authentication, and it was not that the instance was down, but the authenticate method failed in Europe, and we wrote them, and in an hour they released a new version with an update that the auto maintenance fixed it in an hour for all the Europe clients. So it was quite fast.
Was that investigated that was Claris or Amazon?
It was fixed. No, it was. You can ask. You can ask, but they won't tell you.
Maybe it was already in progress.
Yes, I guess. We asked if we could tell us more about what was the the problem that they said that no, it's something internal, it's only for Europe, but it's fixed. And we went to the instance and it was fixed, but they wouldn't tell us the reason. It's quite opaque in that way, like all cloud.
Cloud certificate.
You have to have a little bit of faith. So, and well, thank you for your attention, and I guess it's question time. Thank you. Yes.
So your clients that you have had, are they all in Spain?
Yes, they are.
And your data center is Frankfurt?
Sorry?
Is the data center, the Filemaker Cloud data center, is it in Frankfurt or is there one closer to you?
I think it's in Frankfurt or in Ireland.
Okay.
Yes, I think
There's
it's
no in
Ireland.
Spain anyway.
No, not Spain. No, and it's fast. It was great.
You don't have any.
No, it's for smaller. It's not a big company with a lot of users with external authentication.
One factor could also be like the number of records or the number of unstored calculation fields.
That's it. Yeah, but it's we put it to the test and it was quite robust. It was fast and with lots of calculations.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
How do you use the embedded admin account if the authentication fails? I thought it's only possible to use it in an offline copy of the file.
That's it. So I was referring to authentication for a Claris ID, no about that fails that your authentication on the admin console. In case you can access to admin console and you can stop database and download a copy, you can always go through an embedded admin account. And but if login to FileMaker Cloud instance fails, you have to wait.
I have one additional relevant question to when you mentioned the extra license.
Yes.
There are not only things that you mentioned, but also data API access requires an extra license unless you use one of yours. So that's each extra license. And if you are a development company with a team of developers, not just one,
No?
and you want to keep track of who has accessed the database,
Yes.
then you need more than one.
Okay. Yes.
So then it
You might be.
becomes a lot more expensive for the client.
The thing is no one of Claris here.
You are recording.
No, not that much. They are cutting it. I asked Joris to cut it. I've watched myself the admin console with the users with 10. I know some clients access 5 people with the same Claris ID.
Yeah.
At last they banned you somehow through the IP, something like that. But they were like 5 months accessing 5 people with the same Claris ID, not at the same time, but from different computers.
It's a workaround.
Yes.
It's a workaround for something that's not quite right.
The thing is that from the beginning of my session is some clients need some relaxing about why isn't my server working properly? What happens with my server? And there's a month of work and sometimes you find out, you fix it and everything is okay with the server. But we have even more each day that they say, no, I don't care the money. I prefer cloud, thank you. Even if more than 30 or 40 users. And if it has to be 42 or 43 for admin purposes, they're willing to pay because they have experienced the other scenario with the server and they are not happy at all.
On the other hand, you shouldn't need any developer access to your production database, in theory. You can always download it, load up to your dev server, which is standard FileMaker server, and test for it develop whatever you need there, and then you just upload back to cloud.
Well, not the developer access, but support access. If you want to provide support and maintenance, then you need access.
Well, okay, but one account should be enough for that.
No, if you want to do it properly,
Yeah.
every person should have their own account.
Yeah.
And if you want to do it properly and
Yeah.
provide proper support, you cannot rely on a single person.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we used to develop in FileMaker and at the beginning of the new FileMaker, I don't know if it was server, it was version 12 or I don't know well, that Claris told us that we had to tell our clients to buy FileMaker Pro account for each developing purposes, and I guess that went nowhere because it was nonsense. That if my clients need an extra FileMaker account for their developer, and that were nonsense. And this is a little bit, I think, more or less that FileMaker Cloud is changing every month, not every month, but every 6 months. From this version to the one that was in 2021, there's a huge progress. And I think there will be, in the future, a single developer account for Claris, for FileMaker Cloud purposes. When it was Claris Cloud, for example.
What I would like to see is a way how to invite a developer as a license-less user. So if that developer has their own license, they would be able to access your instance without eating up your own license.
Yeah.
So that has only been a problem for 4 or 5 years now. So give it some time, right? They will figure it out.
Okay, so maybe my son will see it happen.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
And another advantage,
I have to run a session.
please. Another advantage I didn't, sorry.
You showed the log files.
Yes.
You could get a lot of log files from FileMaker Cloud and
Yes.
from FileMaker Server. That's not accurate.
All right.
Because you can get the same from FileMaker Server if they do exist on the server. So
If
the
they
screen-
do exist.
Yeah. You will see the same. So your screenshot is probably from a very.
I'm sorry.
No. I just wanted to point it
Oh,
out.
thank you.
There's one log file that is very specific for Amazon, or the FileMaker Cloud. Can't remember the name, but that's very specific, which is only on FileMaker Cloud.
Okay, thank you. I will.
In the admin API, you turn stats and server stats on, and then they will deactivate it.
Okay.
Automatically by default.
Oh, thank you.
I
Yes,
was
Hayden.
curious if you had given any, in terms of setting up people with Claris ID and how hard
Yes.
it is for users, have you given any feedback to Claris on that, and your experience? Because it sounds like you're helping people a lot, because it's going to be a problem, with
Yes.
everything else too.
Yes.
Yeah.
We
It keeps being a problem.
we asked. Yes, we told them, and they always say that they are, of course. Thank you for the a unique repository. I don't know, a unique place where you can give access to each client, and it's like a downloading zone, and everything is easier. But because where in FileMaker Cloud, where do you have access to download your FileMaker Pro software, you have to log on the admin console. So you have to be yourself distributing this. So we told them, yes.
Are you saying that it's not good UX in the
It's been a while since.
Claris ID console?
It's nuisance, it's for
Yeah.
them.
I was just saying they've done a lot of, it sounds like 30 hours of handholding, and so maybe have,
That's a lot of experience.
a lot of experience.
You
I
have,
haven't done that much, but yeah.
and maybe most times are not technical people at all. So
Yeah.
when you give it to a person that is dealing with a warehouse and has to install it himself. So we better, in the budget, we put these extra hours, we give this service to the clients, and they're even happier, so everybody's happy. We love to do them for them. So
Yeah, still.
still, yes, yes.
Yeah.
It would be wonderful if they were independent for that, no? The other thing I haven't said that in here is a great advantage that you can have a single admin console for all your clients. So if you are having lots of clients in FileMaker Cloud, you just log in an admin console of FileMaker Cloud, and you have, with a drop down, all your clients accessible. So you don't have to be like with the remote desktop, accessing 35 different servers.
Yeah.
So that's quite comfortable from this point of view. Okay. That's all. Thank you to all. Thanks.